What's up, guys? This is Eagz. This is me coaching Mike. I want a thank you, Mike, from everyone in the comments, bro, because Mike has been kind enough to let me just road review this game and put it on YouTube. I coached him earlier today, and yeah, I thought this was just a red-hot game to go through. Lots of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it, eh? If you want one-on-one coaching, by the way, Challenger Coaching all roles. Before split ends, there's 20% off on my website. Go check it out. Don't be shit. Now, let's get into it. First thing I tell Mike in this game is his Belveth, his, late invading, kind of weak early game teams is a red-hot option. And in this game, he should definitely do it, right? Against Kane's top side with a Gwen with lethal tempo, Kane with Conqueror, doesn't really mean too much, Scion with Graphs, I know it's a Scion, but these two should hard win. Belveth is just incredibly strong. Anyway, let's get into the main kind of concepts here, because level 1 invading isn't really like a, how do I put it, like a general kind of thing that applies to most junglers, right? Anyway, Mike is going to start Raptors here, which is great, just like kind of solo starting with no leash. After this, I believe he should go Krugs and then go red buff. Reason being is because lots of people tell me like, oh, why not go Raptors, red, Krugs? And even Mike says this to me. He actually said, you know, well, what about ganking bot lane? And I'm like, well, how do you know you're going to gank bot lane every time you do this? Like, it's just set in stone, is it? The only way you know that's the case is because you phoned up Willy Wonka on center and Zillstrap Pro to overextend or to not ward or to not think about me being, you know, like a level 3 ganking red buff champion. That's the only reason why, which isn't a reason, right? So we should just maximize our clear to stay flexible and try to finish either at red or Raptors so we're flexible to do pretty much anything, right, we want to. So that's the first, like, kind of little improvement here, doing Krugs after Raptors. Bot lane, there's a few kills, and we know in this game that the enemy Kane starts here because his bot lane leashed. You guys can go back and watch it, but trust me here, his bot lane leashed, so Kane starts a blue buff. This is another reason why this clear is annoying. We end up here, now we've got to go all the way back. If we go Raptors, Krugs to red, yes, we still have to take the same line, but we will be closer to this, and it looks more natural, right? So it's just a bit more efficient, and also we're sequencing Raptors and Krugs together, which is a really important concept, right? Whenever you're clearing one of your quadrants, you ideally want to sequence Gromp with Wolves. Not put blue buff in between, not put red buff in between until you're super fed and, you know, you've got like Kraken and your major items and you clear so quickly. So Mike is going to invade the Kane here. Don't really care how he does it. He's going to get the kill. What would you guys do here? Quick, think. Kane's got 20 CS, right? 16 CS because he didn't get red buff. But he's done 4 camps, okay? So his whole bot side's gone. He's done Raptors. Mike just got the red buff as well, and he smited this, which is really clean. Gets a kill on Kane, so only Krugs is up, right? What would you do? Quick. Tell me. Krugs is definitely correct here, right? Because not only do we kind of sequence Krugs and Raptors for Kane, because Kane did Raptors probably like 20 seconds ago. So these are only going to be like 20 or so seconds apart, which is nice for us. We can afford to do this because what else is there to do here? Do we have a hit on Kane? Like, my first thought here, my brain is telling me, can I just like insta base here and buy like 2 longswords or something, right? And run somewhere on the map to meet the Kane. Well, it's actually very hard to tell where Kane is going to go. I mean, I guess he has to go to bot crab here, which is probably easy to tell in a way. But there's also an opportunity or maybe a chance like he just does something weird and goes to Krugs. Something like this, right? So I think whenever you get a kill like this, guys, and I was asked recently, I was coaching a GM jungler in NA last night who asked me about this, like recalling around 3 minutes. I actually think it's a lot better to recall around 3:45 here. So I only think you should recall early game when you get a quick first blood like this, when you know the enemy jungler has like a whole quadrant up. So let's just say this was the example, right? Let's go back all the way back here. Let's just say that Kane here randomly ganked mid, right? After doing blue Grand pools, and he randomly ganked mid, and Mike comes mid and kills him, right? Let's just say there's a big kill here, right? He kills the Kane. If you are Belveth there with first blood, he's going to have 2 longswords, right? So he kills the Kane here, and he runs off like this and bases. He can get 2 longswords and immediately run to Kane's red buff because he knows that there's 3 camps here, right? You see the difference? Whereas in this situation, it's very difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but what do we actually hit Kane on? There is 1 crab up that he might get to before us just a little bit quicker because of his E right and his Q. I know Belveth has Qs and stuff, but Kane might get there a little bit quicker, especially if he has E, which he should, right? So it's very difficult, I think, anyway, and kind of presumptuous in a way, to get a kill on Kane's bot side at this point in time. We want to try and hit Kane's bot side if we can when his actual resources are spawning. When he's got sufficient gold on this side of the map, right? It would make more sense for him to stay here 100%, and it would make it easier for us to hit him. So doing Krugs, I completely agree with this from Mike. But what he says to me after this is, and he actually does this because I had his POV of the game, never do this, guys, right? So if I was playing as Mike here like he did in the actual replay that I was watching, his POV, he plays like this, right? So he clears the camp, clears the camp, clears the camp, and he knows that top lane is pushing here, right? The Scion. And what he does is actually just click like this. So he just locks his camera, and all he does is just click like this, and then he's like, oh, the Scion's gankable. I told Mike here that you need to know, bro, that after you do Krugs, you have two options, right? I think one of the options is to recall straight away, okay? And I know I just said, why would you recall here then after Krugs and run out here? Like, you just said that was bad. I said recalling straight away after the kill was bad. Because it's too early, right? You go to Crab, maybe you get Crab, you probably don't. And then what are you waiting for? What's the next timer? It's going to be around 4:15, 4:20, right? What's this for? Kane's Gromp. So we're going to be waiting a little bit. We run out to Crab, and maybe it's like, 3:40 or something, or 3:30. We're going to wait like at least 30, 40 seconds for the next resource on this side of the map, and so does the Belveth. So doing Krugs here is great for Mike, but after this, even while he's doing Krugs, he needs to know if he's ganking top or if he's insta-basing and going like this. It's a very powerful move. Now, the Crab will be gone. Obviously, Kane is going to be able to get this Crab. But what am I talking about again? I'm talking about hitting Gromp. Also in this game, remember, what is the timer, or Kane's bot side? You can even think about walls if the blast cone is up, or you can just run around. What other timer is important about bot side here? Where did Belveth start? Raptors, right? Therefore, what is the timer on Raptors? Is it 4:20? Is it 4:40 like it normally is? So if you go like red into Krugs into Raptors, right? Normally it's 4:40 if it's your third camp. If this is your first camp, though, you finish this at 1:40, 2 minute 15, therefore 4 minutes. This spawns at 4 minutes. So if Mike was to recall right now, let's have a look at the map. If he was to recall after hitting that bad boy Krug, he is able to base 334 and actually get to Raptors as soon as they spawn. This would also give him, well, he already is level 4, which is great as well, but he could actually drive by Raptors on his way to Gromp, on his way to Wolves. See what I mean here? Hopefully that makes sense. If you're going to gank top like this, guys, you know you're ganking top even during this. Because this means that if you know you're going to gank top here as Belveth, because the lane is slow pushing away from Scion, if you want to know like wave management and, if a lane is pushing away or into someone, you guys should contact JMO. But anyway, this is pushing away from Scion, right? And we know that Gwen is running out of base. All right, okay, she's got an amp tone, nice. But this should be a kill, right? We also know that Kane's not here, so this is just a pure 2v1. So if we're going to gank this lane because it's pushing away, we do not use key abilities on Krugs like our E is Belveth. This could be another champion. I'm trying to think of someone maybe like... Oh, I can't think of anything, man. But hopefully you guys get my point, right? Save your abilities, guys, for the gank, which is going to happen very soon, okay, in the near future. Also, when you gank lanes like this is very close to being seen even here, right? So I paused this at kind of like the precise moment just because... I don't know, experience, or I'm just used to this shit. But you need to time your ganks, guys, like ideally when this guy has already used his cooldowns. I know like his W is there, but when there is a fight already happening, because then the hard work has kind of already been done for you, and you can come in and ambush the fight in a way. Ganking like this fresh, when the Scion sees you, it's actually a little bit more difficult to get the kill now. And this also means that Mike has to use his W to create this. Ideally, when you're ganking a lane, guys, you want the fire to have been started. That's really important. And maybe if he has his E, he gets the kill on Scion. Thankfully, this guy just ends up running it down. But this is really important because in another game, Scion is not going to do this. And Mike has just wasted 20, 30 seconds trying to gank someone that he doesn't kill. Which then gives this guy the opportunity to do what? 1, 2. So this is why it's really important to execute ganks as best as possible. And that's going to be a big reason as well, by the way, guys. Like, this is around Diamond, Elo, NA. It's going to be a big reason as well, like, why you're not going to get to Challenger is because micro, mechanically, you're not executing ganks and timing them like you should be. If we continue in this game, Mike is now going to go to Crab, which again means nothing. Because now the funny thing is, instead of being the aggressor because we've wasted time, we haven't realized, or kind of like... how do you put it, executed this gank properly, and we didn't recall after Krugs. Now we're actually the defender here. Instead of being the attacker against Kane, the Kane is actually now attacking rather than us attacking the Kane. So now we have to protect the counterplay that Kane obviously has. So from having 0 counterplay, because we can just recall after Krugs, we don't even have to worry about our Raptors getting taken because we'll run past here at 4 minutes, right? Now we have to worry about Kane doing them. Now we're actually late to this side of the map. That's what challenger jungling is. That's how your brain has to operate. And guys, if you have questions about what I've just talked about, whatever it is, whatever the question is, don't feel stupid. I've heard it all before. Please let me know in the comments section. The other thing I just want to mention here as well, and this is kind of like the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video. We know the Kane did Raptors, right? So if you guys can tell me here, and also think about this, by the way. So Kane ran out, okay, and now he's got 25. So he's done 2 extra camps, right? So he's done Crab, and he's also done our Raptors, right? Because we just saw the Kane kind of like come over this wall and gank mid, and we also just saw, because I showed you guys, that he has done Raptors, right? So he's done bot Crab, like we said, and then he's done our Raptors. That's right. Actually kind of good from the Kane. Now he's just shown mid. What about the rest of his camps? So don't look in the bottom right for me. Just think about this game and the time. So it's 4:30, right? Close your eyes. What did Kane do? So he started blue. Your eyes better be closed. He started blue. He went Gromp. What's the timer on Gromp? I'll write it on the screen. 4:20, right? Around that. Then he went to Wolves, right? Because he had 16 CS when we killed him on red buff, and we took red buff. So then he did Wolves. The timer for Wolves will be what? Around 4:40. Then he did Raptors. That's 16 CS. That'll be around 5 minutes here. These will be level 4 Raptors. Now, we did Krugs after we killed the Kane on his red buff, which means that Krugs, because we killed them around like 3:30-ish, because if you guys remember, the crab was up, so 3:20, 3:30-ish, we can put kind of like a safe timer here and just say about 5:40, the Kane's Krugs are going to respawn, maybe even 5:30. Earlier is better than later. So therefore, what do you think I told Mike to think about doing, or actually even do, in this game? Because I guarantee you here, the Kane, I think anyway, is going to go to his Gromp and then to his Wolves. So what do you think I would want to do here if I was playing Bel'Veth, or what I told Mike? Also, by the way, I don't get control wards early again. So I told Mike that what he should think about doing is Krugs. When he finishes these, it might be like 4:55 to Raptors. Well, he doesn't have Raptors, sorry. But do Krugs, and then what he can think about doing is coming back up to the level 4 Kane Raptors and level 4 Kane Krugs. Nothing else on the map here, I think anyway, is attainable for Bel'Veth. Because if Kane goes to Gromp with his prior bot, if Kane goes to Wolves with his prior bot, it's kind of difficult, and I don't know if it's 100% a kill. I think that, again, is presumptuous. But what I think is really good is if you go Krugs, and then you come back up to Raptors. It looks like a trek, but what you are doing there is hitting Kane on a camp that he's definitely going to go towards, and if you get there first, you're probably going to kill him again because you have Noon Quiver on Bel'Veth, and the level 4 Raptors mean way more than you doing this, this, this. These are level 1 camps. I would much rather gain level 4 camps and deny at the same time. I don't want just to gain, because then Kane is also gaining, and I'm the stronger jungler. Guys, hopefully that makes sense what I've been through. If you do enjoy this type of content and these videos, how they're structured and stuff, and me VOD reviewing games, please leave a like. It helps out enormously. Thank you for all the recent support and stuff. And once again, there is a 20% sale on until Split 1 ends. For all coaching, I don't care what champ you play, what role you play, I can teach you 1500 LP for them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't be shit, bye.